Ooh, ooh. Hey, just first of all, this morning I wanted to, first of all, just make sure I make mention that I am not in any way, shape, or form throwing Jesse under the bus. Not at all. Jesse, in a video, he was drinking a Zevia, which was a root beer Zevia, which is an alternative soda with an alternative healthier sweetener, stevia. And for Jesse, that as part of his ER shred lifestyle, he can drink that and he has no issue and he feels great. But people are people. And so people, when they see Jesse drink that and say, I love these, this is a treat for me. And he said, for me, but then people are people, of course. And then people will say, oh, yay, you can have, Zevia. And they do this around everything. It's not just the Zevia. The Zevia is just, one teaching opportunity, but they do it around everything. And that's just human nature is, oh, I saw so-and-so doing this, so that's okay. And I saw so-and-so doing this, and that's okay. And this is what we do as human beings. But just like with any other food or any other supplement, you have to, in time, you got to get to a baseline. Your body has to determine if the Zevia is for you, is beneficial, for you and how you do on it. Because for me personally, the Zevia really, really jacks me up. And I actually gave that Zevia a try years ago, many, many years ago. And it would jack me up so bad. And my belief is that it's the tartaric acid, which there are health benefits associated with tartaric acid. And Zevia claims that the health benefits of tartaric acid far outweigh the any side effect or negative or con around tartaric acid. However, the con around tartaric acid is that it can cause gastric distress. It can cause stomach pain. Sherry Hill asks, what about BIA? You need to find out for you. That's the whole point, is that what you want to do is get to a baseline and then drink your BIA drink or your Zevia or whatever it is. Once you're at a baseline, you introduce it as a food, just like you would an avocado, just like you would a squash, just like you would anything. And then you feel it. And the only way you'll know is if you're not putting a zillion things in your body at once. The only way you'll be able to determine how that affects your body is to, put it in your body and be able to interpret your own body and feel around that food, supplement, or ingredient. Yeah, Bonnie Richards says, BIA is hard on me. Yeah, and she says, I wonder if it is the sugar alcohol. It is for me. I can't drink it because of the sugar alcohols, and I can't eat sugar alcohols in general, any of them. They kill me. Very bad culprit for me personally. Doesn't mean it is for everybody. You got to feel your way around these things. But if something has too much stevia, even, now the hydrate has stevia in it, but I think it has just the right amount because I've never had an issue taking the hydrate, which is sweetened with stevia. I'm curious about Zevia when it does. Stevia is an expensive ingredient in manufacturing, and yet those Zevias sell for so cheap. Go look at the cost of them. They're almost as cheap as soda. And so I'm curious about what is it that's making so sweet. It does say natural flavors. Natural flavors are, they could be a lot of things. They could be anything. So you got to watch that. So for instance, this is a Nixie watermelon mint, organic flavored. It's just a soda water. It's like a sparkling water. I can drink this one, and it just says ingredients: carbonated water, organic flavors. I can drink this. I have one of these per day. I don't have more, otherwise the carbonation will even hit me and cause bloat and burping and gas and everything else. So I'll have like one a day, if I even have one at all. But even these, you better read your ingredients. flavors in them oftentimes are culprits. What I mean is, I have drinking just sparkling water and had negative effect my gastrointestinal system, how I feel, because you don't know what the natural flavors are. And that's the sneaky games that manufacturing and food companies play on us. So you have to be aware. You've just got to be aware. Become pretty shrewd when it comes to these things. You know, ignorance is dangerous. Because when you're ignorant, you can get taken advantage of. When it comes to eating, I don't know. I mean, you could be ignorant when you buy a car and you have to trust that that car salesman, or you could be ignorant when you buy a property, you know, and that realtor could screw you over. They could tell all kinds of lies and they could embellish, and I've had it happen to me before. You know, you could actually be pretty ignorant when it comes to medical. And it's tough in this day and age. Here's the funny thing, guys. We have at our fingertips the most powerful educational tool ever invented in the history of the world, and that's the internet. All you have to do is get on Google and search for any ingredient that you desire, look up the pros, look up the cons. You need to get educated yourself. And then you've got to learn to feel. The feeling's just as important as the education, because I mean, you can educate till you're blue in the face, but if you don't know how to feel, do you know a lot of really, really educated, broke people? They know everything to do about money. They know everything about everything, and they're broke. Well, I know a lot of really smart people that don't have their health. A lot of them. Doctors, personal trainers, educators around wellness, and they don't have their health. And the reason they don't have their health is because they're not like people like Jesse or Susan or, you know, these health professionals who actually do the do and who actually learn to feel and then teach others how to feel. Feeling is critical. And so, you know, in this case, can you have soda water? Can you have sparkling water? Can you have Zevia on your initial 11-day baseline ER shred protocol? No, you cannot. And I'm going to say that kindly. We get sick of people asking what they can have on that. It's pretty simple. You can have what's written in the protocol and the manuals at ershred.com, and whatever's in the protocol you can have, otherwise you can't have it. That's simple. When it comes to the ER Shred lifestyle, you can try that, but ensure that you're at a baseline. And the way you get to a baseline is by stripping things down, doing the 11-day, and then you've got to slowly and gradually reintroduce things one at a time and feel around food, preferably whole foods, and then, you know, decide for yourself. But no, just because, you know, I'm drinking this, my pleasure could be your pain. Just like with me and Jesse. I mean, we understand one another. His pleasure is my pain, literally. The Zevia is my pain. So is it your pleasure or is it your pain? It's no different than an apple. It's no different than a cucumber. It's no different than a piece of squash. It's no different than anything. It's the same. And I hope you guys start to comprehend this, that nobody can do this for you. And we want the empowered. We want the people who want empowerment. We don't want the sheep. We don't want the people, the sheeple, who, you know, tell me what to do and I'll do it. Just tell me what to do. Just spell it out for me. And then anytime they see any kind of what they perceive as concessions or cheating, which we don't even believe in cheating in ER Shred, but now they make that their new normal. Guys, that doesn't make any sense. Like, just think of the common sense of that. Please think of the common sense of that. Feeling is everything. Can you feel around food? Can you literally feel around? I can, but 15 months ago, I didn't have a clue. And I was in the health and wellness space, and I was trying to be healthy, and I was giving it my all to the best of my ability based on what I knew and what I had available to me. And I was failing miserably, and that's what led to a health crisis. At the age of 39 years old, almost 40, I had a full-blown health crisis. How many, Sherry says, how many overweight doctors and nurses have you seen? I I would say the majority. That's just, it just falls in line with, you know, they're just people. If you're not able to use knowledge, knowledge is not power. Knowledge is not power unless you can apply it. So that's why ER Shred is a mechanism. It's a mechanism that teaches you how to apply knowledge. Ruby Lamoureux says, no food is off limits. It's up to us to decide how much discomfort we choose to live with. ER Shred empowers us all to eliminate our pain. That's awesome, Ruby. Thank you so much. So again, some of you are going to be able to enjoy Zevias with Jesse, and cheers to that. Some of you are going to be able to enjoy these fun little Nixie drinks with me. Some of you are going to be able, hey Lisa, hey Brent, Jennifer White Leo says, I am with you on that. ER Shred has been the best group for me. I feel empowered now. Thank you. Some of you, you're going to be able to eat a little salad, or some of you a big salad. I don't eat salad. I don't. And I just realized that salad just doesn't serve me. It just hits my gut, and it causes me distress. That's my reality. That's my blueprint, if you will, my code, my genetic code. I'm not afraid to admit that. But it doesn't mean that you can't have salad. See, we've got to stop that. Just please stop. Stop it. Would you stop it? Stop doing that. I'm not mad at you, but it's what's been done to us. So anyway, that's all I had today. I just want to make sure you guys know that, you know, empowerment is born of your personal experience and your ability to feel. If you don't know what I'm talking about, if you think I'm crazy, hokey, woo-woo, they call it, because I'm talking about feeling around food, I'm going to give you another example because I feel like it's important. Thank you, Ruby. Love you too. If you were to give me a great big steak, I take that steak, I put on the steak a big old heaping tablespoon of butter. It's delicious. I put sea salt all over it. I eat the steak. Now, I'm just going to give you some case in points for me personally because I think it's useful. If you were to give me potato with that steak, I could do a little bit of sweet potato, a little bit, not much. I could do a little bit of white rice, but not much. And I really wouldn't want to because I don't like to mix macros. I don't really like to mix the carbohydrate with the protein. I'd prefer to keep them separate myself. If you were to put some barbecue sauce on it, I would then ask you, what kind of barbecue sauce is this? And almost all the barbecue sauces, go look at them, and almost all of them have high fructose corn syrup, and they're gonna really hit me badly. So I probably am not gonna have that barbecue sauce. I'm certainly not gonna touch those French fries and, you know, white potatoes, and those starches really mess me up. And what's funny is I interpreted that years ago before ER Shred, I interpreted that as the meat was hurting me. Who can relate to this? Like if I ate a big breakfast of, let's say a, you know, traditional American breakfast, you know, pancakes, eggs, bacon, some fruit, all that together is a ticking time bomb for me. And it goes off quick, actually. I actually assigned meaning to that before ER Shred. I said to myself, that's because those eggs are doing it to me. It wasn't the eggs. It never was the eggs, but I stopped eating eggs and I stopped eating meat altogether because I was almost certain, because everybody was telling me that those things were bad for me, I was almost certain it was those things that were doing it to me. So I gave up those things, and that sucked because it's hard to get quality protein sources without those kinds of things. But I'll tell you, I can throw 10 eggs in front of me right now. I used to eat them cooked over, you know, heavy, hard, murder them. And now I cook them over easy because I've realized that all the nutrition is in the yolk, and I won't eat traditional eggs. I won't eat, not even cage-free. Like, I eat pastured eggs, and the reason is because the nutrient profile is so much better. Like, why wouldn't I want to get more of all that nutrition? 2 to 3 times more? I mean, are you crazy? I want the nutrition. That's what I'm eating for. I'm not going to eat the cheap stuff just because it's more affordable. Give me the good. That's what fuels my body. I want the good fuel. I want good performance. I want that. I'm investing in this body. So I really pride myself on that, investing in high quality grass-fed, grass-finished meats, the best eggs. These are the staples of my food supply. The best butter, Kerrygold, grass-fed, grass-finished butter. Oh my God. And that's my fuel. This is my base fuel to serve my body. Now, you might be different than me. That's cool. Like, I have no problem with that. I don't do well on fruit. I've said it before. I don't do well on fruit. I can eat a little bit of fruit, but not much. And so what I'll do, if you're a fruity and yet you realize that the fructose is not serving you and that it's causing you some pain, it's not for not everybody, but you, in that event, I would encourage you to fill up on the base good stuff, fill up the belly, have a little bit of fruit at the end of your meal. That way you won't eat so much fruit, okay? And that way you can still have your little fruit fix, eat a little small handful of berries. I would never eat more than a small handful of berries if it was me. You're gonna get too much sugar, and then your body's not gonna be, it's gonna confuse the body. You want the body burning that fat for fuel. Why? Because Jesse's taught us that's what's efficient. That's what's rocket fuel. It's such a better burn. We wanna be fat burners, 100%. It's just a given. We want our brain to be fueling on fat. We want our bodies to be fueling on fat. We want to be able to tap those fat reserves. So this has all become second nature to me, and I'm starting to realize that we have to keep saying the same thing over and over and over again because we have so many new people coming on, and it's critical that we keep the education coming, and we'll do that, I promise, in a patient and in a very gentle way, because it's important. And people, where are they coming from? That's what we always have to remember. If I remember back to where I was coming from 15 months ago, now I've become what Bob Sivrite always refers to as unconscious competent, which means I do things and think things without even processing anymore. And so when you get to that place, you can become very intolerant of new people who they've not been on that journey. So they're, what do you call that, Bob? Conscious incompetent, working towards conscious competent, and eventually unconscious competent. But bottom line is, guys, everybody that's in here that's a veteran ER shredder, I guarantee you they have a different blueprint than the rest of everybody. And that's the beauty of ER shred, believe it or not. It's the individualization of ER shred that's so powerful and that changes everything. That's one of the secret sauces to ER shred, is the individualization. Some people sleep different. Some people sleep on their stomachs. I always fall asleep on my stomach, even though I'm not convinced that it's healthy, and it kind of hurts my lower back, but it's just like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's from my childhood, but if I lay on my stomach, I'm out. Boom, I'm out like a light. Some people sleep on their sides, their back, some people sleep standing up, I don't know. But the bottom line is everybody's different. And so if we were to teach people, you all have to sleep this certain way, not only is that there going to be resistance to that, I'm not convinced that everybody has to sleep the same way. Of course, people will push an agenda around that, but I've been sleeping on my stomach my whole life, and I'm pretty damn functional. I'm fine. I can't seem to make myself sleep on my back. So, once I'm asleep, I can get on my back, but I can't fall asleep on my back. It's just the way it is. It's crazy. So we're all so unique. Biochemistry and the human experience is unique as a fingerprint. No two people are exactly alike. So I really appreciate the teaching opportunity, and I hope you guys take something away from that. Let's read a few more comments. Bob says, eventually a new identity. It's the awareness. Let's see here. Anne-Marie says, yes, 100. Casey, I love eggs. What's funny is I used to eat eggs and I didn't like the taste of eggs. but realizing now that those were cheap white, the cheapest commercial produced eggs you could buy, and they taste completely different. The way I can prove it is if I crack one open and I drink it. If I drink it raw, it has like a little bit of a fishy taste. It's disgusting. But if I crack open one of my homegrown, eggs, no soy, they're not fed corn, they're not fed anything that they wouldn't eat in the wild, they're not fed any of the garbage. And, I won't even allow my kids to feed our chickens like scraps that are unhealthy. So they don't get any of the flour, they don't get any of that crap. And I can drink one of their eggs and it doesn't have that fishy, weird taste. Also, it feels better in my stomach, whereas before, if I ate a raw egg, just for fun or just as a dare or try to get protein quick, I would even have an ill feeling in my stomach. I don't really eat raw eggs very often, but I have noticed that difference. It's very, very fascinating. So everybody's just different. And if you haven't figured that out, then it's time to figure that out, because without that, there is no empowerment. Are you ready to be empowered? If you're ready to be empowered, stay on ER Shred, okay? If you're ready to be empowered, then it's time for you, if you haven't, to figure out what works for you and what doesn't. Now, you might come to find out that, oh my gosh, something I've been eating every day for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years, 25 years, 30 years is my pain. And I didn't have any idea. I had not the slightest clue what was doing it to me. And what does it show up as? It could show up as acne. It could show up as rashes. It could show up as brain fog. It could show up as dry skin, dry hair. It could show up as low energy, lethargy. It could show up as bloat, distended, colon. Of course, your bowels. It could show up in such a variety of ways. And that's another thing that you need to get familiar with is everybody's body kind of has a different sensor. And that sensor is going to go off for you. And when that sensor goes off for you, I hope you're able to interpret it. And if you're not, it's time to start paying attention. Another cool thing is when you eat the right things, the sensors will go off for you in a positive way. You'll go, why do I feel? Have you guys ever had that happen where you go, I had a great day today? You just kind of remark to a friend, I had a great day today. I feel great today. I don't know what, I wish I could repeat that every single day. It's another thing Jesse talks about. He says, every day I feel great. Every day I operate at a high level. I believe him. It's because he's figured out his blueprint and he keeps it super simple. But 15 months ago, I would be completely in the dark. I might have one rock solid day every maybe one every couple months. That's the sad reality. And would I ever stop and say, what did I do today to make that happen? What did I do? Reverse engineer it. What did I eat? When did I eat it? Did I, keep a food journal? I didn't have a freaking clue, because like everybody else, it's just this big smorgasbord of what we're putting in the body. It's like a buffet. It's like, everything goes in. I used to think I couldn't eat cheese. I can eat hard cheese a little bit. If I eat too much hard cheese, I'll get constipated, truthfully. If I eat too much whole yogurt with, I love all the fat, low sugar. The sugar's only coming from the lactose, low fat. High fat, low sugar. And if I eat a little bit of that, I would call it, I could eat half a cup, maybe 3/4 of a cup, maybe. But your tendency is you're going to want to put more because it doesn't look like a lot. But when you get to a base and you get simple, you could eat a half a cup of yogurt. You could eat a 3/4 cup of yogurt. Put a little tiny drizzle. If honey is not a culprit for you, tiny drizzle. I'm talking a drizzle. Not much at all. Not like even a half a teaspoon. Like drizzle. Just for the fun of it. And I'll eat that, and it's a treat, and it's a snack, and it serves me well. So these are all the kind of pointers that us veteran ER shredders need to be sharing with you, but you better not take it as the rule, because my rule might be different than yours. Jennifer White Leo says, I can totally relate. I kept eating kale and salads and stayed away from the red meat. I felt like crap all the time. I could never eat kale. And then Crystal would juice kale, and it was like I would drink the kale and I would be like dying. Or celery juice, I'd drink it, dying, hours on the toilet, miserable. I'm going, either I'm detoxing badly. They always use the excuse of detox. You're detoxing. Right. But hours on the toilet, and you might, by the way, you might spend some time on the toilet. I don't think it'll be full-blown diarrhea, but you might spend some time on the toilet when you do learn to go fat adaptive, because your body never learned to burn fat for fuel. And when you make that conversion, and those cleanse days, those reset days, intermittent nutritional fasting days, they actually will, in my opinion, I can't prove it, but in my opinion, it accelerates the body's ability to go fat adaptive fast. And that's another one of the magic components of ER Shred that people just don't understand. They don't get it. That usually to go fat adaptive, you'd have to remove all carbohydrate and all sugar from the body for a period of time, and it could take a minimum of 2 weeks to go fat adaptive. And if you've ever heard of the keto flu, that's some nasty stuff. That'll rock your world. That'll kick your butt. And the more chronic addicted you are to the sugars, the fructose, the glucose, guess what? The harder that process of adapting is going to be. And we've had a lot of ER shredders who never made it fat adaptive, and they felt the effects of that flu, if you will, and it rocked their world, and they automatically they said, well, this is rough. This isn't for me. I had that for probably, I'm going to say it was at least 8 or 9 days. It could have been as many as 10, but I didn't care, because my experience with that was the loose stool, but I didn't care because by day 5, I felt so damn good. I felt so alive. I felt so nourished, and I had so much energy, and my mind was completely clear. And I was like, I'll take the loose stool, man. I've had loose stool for 20 adult years of my life. I'm used to loose stool, pretty frequently, but this was probably a little more loose, bowel movements. I was probably having, 5 to 6 a day loose stool, which isn't fun. More than probably I was used to, but I was aware of it because my coach had made me aware of what was coming for me. Now, after the 9th or 10th day, I started having solid bowel movements, and I was like, I was tripping out because I think I had forgotten. Guys, try going years without a solid bowel movement and just wondering what's wrong with me. So you eat more fiber and it gets worse. You eat more fiber, it gets worse. You eat more fiber, it gets worse. Try that. Grains are out for me. No, I don't think grains are not fit for Sean's human consumption. I said Sean's human consumption. I hope you guys are finding this useful, because this is the journey we're all on together. Okay? ER Shred is an elimination reset. And I hope you understand the nature of it. The shred part for us is fun. It's really fun. Incubating the shakes is fun. It's fun. You're a little scientist. You're a little wannabe scientist in your own kitchen. It's fun, is it not? That's the fun part. The fun part is watching your body change, watching your muscle improve, watching your fat drop. It is. It's fun to get compliments. I'll admit, I'm just like everybody else. I love the acknowledgement. So thank you for all of you that have supported me. It means a lot to me. I hope to support you as well. Let's all support each other. Let's all cheer each other on all the goddamn time. This world is full of darkness. It's full of cynicism and toxicity. And, it's all got to stop. Did you know that people like us, ER Shred, our community, our culture, could literally change the world? Not that everybody's going to be an ER Shredder. They're not going to be. We know that. But our tone, our energy, our love, our compassion, our sincerity, our ethics, we could change the world. Because when people have dealings with people like all of us, it will make them want to be better. in their own sphere, whatever that might be, we could change the world. We could make the world a better place. I believe that. I love you guys. I got to run. Bye-bye.